My next guest is coming off a big win over Joe Solecki, UFC 302 last Saturday. It's Grant Dawson back here on the program. Grant, how are you?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me on.
It's great to talk to you, man, especially after a win like that. How did the fight play out compared to your expectations going in, kind of looking back on your performance?
Yeah, I thought that I thought the fight pretty much went exactly how I thought it was going to go. Minus, I thought once I got up by 2 rounds, he was going to do a little bit more to try to get up off of his back or do something crazy to win the fight. And I think that's when my opening would have came. And then he didn't end up doing that. I really, respect to Joe Solecki. He's a good fighter, but I really think that he showed up to not lose instead of to win.
Other than that, anything else surprise you about him?
No, not really. He was a little bit. I expected him to be a little bit more physical, but man, I don't know. Like we all have off nights. Maybe he just had an off night. Nah, man. The fight went pretty much how I thought it was going to go.
It goes the distance, and I think everyone watching at home and, people just assumed you were going to win, but we had some weird judging earlier in the night, and then we ended up having some weird judging after the night as well. Was there any concerns at all, or were you like, no, we got this, we're good?
Yeah, I don't think anybody could have, it was one of those scenarios where if I didn't win by judge's decision, I think the UFC would have given me my win bonus anyway, because that was very clearly 30-27 for me. You could have even put in a couple of, I don't want to say 10-8 rounds, but man, when you're as dominant as you can be, I think it's a little bit more than just a 10-8. I'm sorry, a 10-9.
Yeah, no, I would definitely agree with that. I know you're a pretty low-key guy post-fight, so what did you get up to after the fight?
What do you mean?
How did you celebrate after the win, I guess would be my question.
Yeah. I thought you meant what was my weight, and I was like,
no. Your weight was good, man. I don't think you had any issues, right? You haven't anyway, so yeah. We're past that, Grant. You're good. You make the weight. There's no issues. Right. Okay, let's be clear about that.
Don't ask me what I'm weighing now.
Yeah. No, I won't. We'll keep that off limits. What'd you get up to post fight?
Yeah, we did the same thing we always do. Is I had some pizza. We watched the rest of the fights, and then I tried to get jiggy with my wife, and that's really about it. I'm a pretty low key guy. I don't drink at all. I don't do any kind of drugs. So really, for me, it was just watch the fights, watch my fight on repeat 1,000 times, and kind of get ready for the next one.
Yeah, and I don't know if we've actually really talked about this. I know throughout your whole career, I'm pretty sure you've never drank or done any drugs and stuff. Like, how much of an advantage is that? Because at the end of the day, it is poisoning your body when you are taking this stuff, and you need kind of every edge you can get in the fight game, right?
Yeah, I would agree, but I think it counterbalances itself with all the McDonald's that I eat. So
okay, fair enough. So yeah,
I try not.
You do have a vice. Everyone has vices, right? So yeah,
for sure. Yeah. I try not to judge. When it's like, oh, this person drinks or this person smokes a lot of weed. It's like, well, I eat a lot of McDonald's. So I think the thing that gives me the advantage in the fight isn't the fact that I don't drink. It's the fact of how obsessed I am with the sport.
Yeah, that too. And I can tell you as someone who's older than you, drinking is overrated. I don't really drink much anymore either, because it just kills your body, especially as you get older. Like the next day, it's like you waste the day, so that's just
I heard a quote that I really, really liked, and it said, how does it go? Drinking is stealing happiness from tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it was. It is for me, where it's like, dude, I've got goals. I can't afford to have a day where I'm not 100%, giving everything I've got. And if you're out drinking on Sunday night, Monday, which is the toughest practice, is going to be really difficult.
And that kind of segues to my next question. Guy that doesn't drink at all either because he can't because of his religion, Islam Makhachev, big win in the main event. I know you're teammates with Dustin Poirier. You train with him. What did you think of Islam's performance in that fight?
Man, I don't think we talk about Islam. I think we talk about Dustin. I think Dustin was I don't think anybody thought that kind of performance was going to come out of Dustin. I had it 2-2 going into the fifth. I believe one judge had it 2-2 as well. So it was anybody's fight. And Dustin is the type of guy that gets better as the momentum goes on. He made one little mistake and Islam capitalized on it. I think Dustin still got it. And I'm a little, there's a part of me that hopes he's not done, because I think he's still got it, man. And not to make excuses for the guy, but 6 weeks, that's not really a full camp for a title fight. 6 weeks, and the dude did that. Give him 12 and see what happens.
I don't know if you saw today on Dustin's Twitter feed, but he did retweet something about, hey, we got to see one more or something like that. Some fan commented and he retweeted it. So maybe he's coming back. I don't know if you've spoken to him since the fight.
Yeah, I mean, we've chit chatted a little bit, but nothing. I'm not the type of guy that you just lost the title fight. And I'm going to jump on. Hey, you fighting again?
Yeah, yeah, no,
So
no, for sure, for sure.
yeah, whatever he wants to do, man. He's the type of guy that he's put so much into the sport that he can. I'm trying to get on his level to where it's like, I've given enough to the sport that I can confidently walk away. I haven't done that yet, and so that's my goal, is to get on his level.
How is Dustin in the gym? Like, he seems like a very serious guy in a good way. Like, it's all business. Is he friendly, or is he more like, hey, I'll talk to him when the time's right type thing?
No, Dustin's super friendly. Yeah, he's real friendly. He's always looking out. He's definitely got his people. That's for sure. But man, he's the type of guy that will give you respect until you make him take it away from you. I got nothing but good things to say about Dustin Poirier.
Now, it looks like we would think Arman's going to be next for Islam. I know Arman's trained a bit at ATT. How do you see that fight potentially going? It's a rematch. The first fight was short notice. But obviously, Arman's improved a lot since their first fight as have Islam.
Yeah, I mean, I think Islam's looking real mortal right now. I think that he's one of the pound for pound best fighters in the world. I wouldn't put him at number one, but I definitely think he's one of the pound for pound best. And if anybody's going to do it, it's a younger, stronger version of him. And I think that's kind of the bill that Arman fits. Can he get it done? Sure. Will he get it done? I don't know. I've gone with Arman quite a bit. I've trained with him quite a bit. He's a stud, but everybody's so good at this level, man. Everyone's so good. I think I could beat Islam on any given night. I think Arman could beat Islam on any given night. Any of us can win, and all it takes is one mistake.
What did you think of Arman's comments on Dustin? I thought was interesting because obviously he trains at ATT, and even Gamrot kind of came to Dustin's defense, being like, dude, what are you talking about? Basically implying that he had quit in the fight.
Yeah, man. I don't know what Arman's always been super friendly to me, but I don't know what that was about, because there was just no need to say that. There was no need to. Which one, it wasn't even true. Two, like what do you gain by saying that? What do you like? Who's more excited to see you fight Islam because you said that Dustin gave up in the fight, which was clearly not true. The dude went to sleep. Like, what? How is that giving up in a fight?
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't approve of it, but he's a grown ass man. He can do whatever he wants.
I called out Jalin Turner after the fight, and I understand the reasoning. I like this, and I hope fans kind of understand this. Your reasoning is, Bobby Green beat you, he beat Bobby Green. You want to beat the guy that beat Green because Green's obviously booked against Patty, right? Which I think makes sense.
Yeah, and dude, I don't want to fight Bobby again. Like I would take that fight in a heartbeat, but I'm not the type of guy that's going to lose to somebody and be like, calling him out and trying to get that one back. I think I gain more by beating somebody like Jalin Turner, who is insanely dangerous. Let's be honest, Jalin Turner is a horrible matchup for me. Horrible matchup for me. And so being able to go in there and show that I can beat these guys that are bad matchups for me, big scary dude like Jalin Turner, I think that does more for me than if I just beat Bobby. I beat Bobby, let's say I 30-27 him or I submit him. Everybody's like, well, now we got to see number 3. And I'm just not interested in fighting Bobby Green 3 times. I want to get closer to the belt, and I think Jalin Turner is the way to do that.
Yeah, completely agree with that. One thing I was actually curious, just kind of asking, like in general, my understanding from a lot of fans is like they think that fighters want to avenge losses. Like, for example, I've heard a lot of people suggest that it should be Poirier and maybe Holloway next. What does Holloway have to gain when he could probably be fighting for an actual title next against Poirier? Like, do you get the sense from fighters that like avenging a loss is like a big thing, or even for you personally? Like, you're kind of even saying here, Turner would be a better win for you than fighting Bobby again.
Yeah, I definitely think styles make fights. I do think that, at this level, it's not about who's better than who. It's about who's better that night. And I think what makes what makes a champion is to be able to be better more nights than you're not better, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I look, if avenging losses meant anything at all, we would see so many, like 3 fights, so it's like Bobby beat me and then I go beat him again. Now I got to fight him again to prove that I'm better. Like, or I could just get on with my life and beat these people. Islam Makhachev never avenged his loss against Pantoja. That's a joke. I know he didn't.
I know. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But
thanks, Brendan Shaw, by the way, for that. Yeah.
Right. He didn't avenge his loss against Martins. He just said, screw it. I'm gonna go move on with my life. I'm gonna beat a bunch of people. I'm gonna put on a great performance against everybody else, and people are gonna forget about it. I'm sure that when I'm world champion, somebody's gonna be commenting that Bobby Green knocked me out. I could not care less. Like, I didn't get in this sport to beat Bobby Green. I got into this sport to be a world champion.
Yeah, well said. When do you want to get back in there? Obviously, fresh win. I know you want to compete as much as you can. Any like sort of ideal timeline or ideal card you want to get back for?
Yeah, I want to get in as soon as possible. My wife and I have a vacation planned beginning of July, and then
cool.
As soon as we get back, I'm ready to go. I got stitches in my eye. My knees are all banged up.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, no, I can see it. Yeah.
So as soon as I get healed up and we get back from this vacation, I want to get after it.
Where are you guys going on vacation?
We're going to Georgia, not the country.
Okay.
We're driving up to Georgia. We're staying up in a cabin up in the
cool.
woods. We're going to take our dogs up there and just kind of put our phones away for a week, get off social media, get off all this election stuff, get off all of the, all the hate, and just enjoy each other, have fun with our dogs, and just relax.
Have you got any hate after this fight? I know you would have liked to finish. You know how fans are. Like, if you don't finish a fight, they think it's like a loss, right?
Yeah, I get hate after every fight, whether I win, lose, or draw. It doesn't bug me. It's part of the game. Yeah, it's fine.
So you mentioned the vacation in July. UFC 303 is the week before, and I know it's part of International Fight Week, so they bring some fighters out sometimes to do that. I'm guessing you're not a part of that, or are you, and then you're going on vacation?
I am not a part of that. I don't think the UFC will ever pay to have me a part of that.
Why not, though? Like, I figured, I think we talked about this last time, but I think a guy like yourself, like young, up and coming, like, they would want to get more fighters like you out there, because you would, I'm sure there's, people that can relate to you that are fans, as opposed to like an older fighter.
Man, I don't know. I'm not stupid. I know I don't really have the following that they're looking for in those situations. I like to let my fights do the talking for me, and I get that that's not a super big part of this. I truly believe I'm going to be a world champion someday. I think that my stock is going to go way, way up. And so I'm just enjoying the time that I have being a normal person right now.
What about the rest of the week? What do you got planned? Obviously, you're out in paradise, out in Florida. You got anything going to any nice dinners or doing anything cool there?
Sitting on the couch and watching cartoons. That's pretty much what I got planned for my week. Heal up, get back in the gym on Monday, hopefully.
What cartoons are you watching?
Oh, man, I watch everything. Teen Titans, all of it. I watch Saturday, old cartoons, new cartoons. I love cartoons.
Yeah, I just downloaded. Here's an old cartoon for you. And I used to watch it as a kid, and I'm getting my kids to watch it. Is Tailspin? It's like the characters from the Jungle Book, but they like the premise of it is like the blue bear from the Jungle Book. He's a pilot, and so him and like it's a weird show, but like I watched it growing up, and I'm trying to get my kids to watch stuff that I used to watch, and they like it. So it's kind of it's called Tailspin.
I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. If it's the right thing, I think it's the exact thing I'm talking.
Yeah, it's like those old Disney shows back in the day. There's like Tailspin, Darkwing Duck, Goof Troop, like a bunch of the old school ones that were like on after school when I was a kid. Now it's like they have specialty channels, but I remember when I was done school, that was what you do. You come back and watch cartoons, right? So
there's this show on Disney Plus. It came out in 2017. It's called DuckTales, and it's like a remastered. It's like a redo of like the really old show. DuckTales.
Yeah. That's the one I used to watch too. That was in that lineup as well. DuckTales.
It is amazing. Like it is.
So the revamped version you think is better then? I got to check this
100%. 100%. There's 3 seasons, start to finish, pure gold. It's funny. It's got great adventure. It's got great stories. I definitely cannot wait to let my kids watch it.
That's awesome. And you're pure gold, Grant, in these interviews. I appreciate it as always. If there's anyone you want to thank before we get out of here, as always, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, I just want to thank my team as always. I train at the best gym in the world, American Top Team, the best coaches, Mike Brown, Tiago Alves, my buddy Dakota Bush, Nate Garib, all these guys that helped me out. I know I'm forgetting people. I love you all. Marshall, thank you to everyone that's helped me out with this fight, and I just cannot wait to get back in there and get after it again.